My name is Mabel Rose Thompson. I'm 100 years old. And I'm about to tell you something that would make half the nutritionists in America clutch their pearls. I eat the same 4 foods every single day. And I've been doing it for over 40 years. Now before you scroll off to watch someone do a 20-second dance challenge, stay with me a moment. I've buried 7 doctors. 7 good men. Educated. Confident. Absolutely certain they knew better than I did. Every one of them told me I was eating wrong. Back in 1985, Dr. Patterson studied my blood work and said, "Mabel, your cholesterol is too high. You need to stop eating eggs immediately." He handed me a tiny little chart. Green foods. Red foods. He spoke to me like I was one of my 3rd graders who couldn't follow instructions. Low-fat diet. No butter. No yolks. Margarine instead. Cereal for breakfast. Modern science, he called it. Dr. Patterson passed at 71. Massive stroke. I'm still here. Still upright. Still frying my eggs. Let me tell you exactly what I eat. No cheat days. No rotating superfoods. No complicated food niches. Just 4 things. First, 3 whole eggs fried in real butter. Every morning. Whole eggs, yolk and all. That golden center they told us to fear for decades? That's where the nourishment lives. For 40 years they warned me. Eggs will kill you. Cholesterol. Heart disease. You're playing Russian roulette. Well, I've been pulling that trigger 3 times a day since 1963. And here I am at 100. An egg contains everything a chick needs to become a full-grown chicken: feathers, bones, brain, muscle. A complete package inside one small shell. Yet somewhere along the way, someone in a lab coat decided they knew better than nature. So now people buy cartons of egg whites and toss the yolks. That's like buying a car and throwing away the engine because you heard it burns too much fuel. And I fry mine in butter. Real butter. From a cow. Not margarine. Not that spray in a can that smells like a chemistry experiment. Second, ground beef. 1 pound a day. 80-20, 80% lean, 20% fat. I split it between lunch and dinner. Oh, the lectures I've heard about red meat. Colon cancer. Heart disease. Inflammation. One doctor practically predicted I'd burst into flames. But my grandmother ate beef every day. My mother ate beef every day. I've eaten beef every day. None of us developed cancer. Maybe instead of studying lab rats fed sugar water, they should have studied families like ours. Beef is full of iron, B12, zinc, the very things people now buy in shiny bottles at supplement stores. Your blood depends on them. Your muscles are built from them. Your brain runs on them. I cook it simply. Cast iron skillet. Salt. That's it. No sauces from 3 continents. No ingredient list that reads like a science exam. A cow eats grass and turns it into strength. Sunlight and soil become muscle. That's not just food. That's remarkable. Meanwhile, we pour cereal from a box with a cartoon tiger on it and wonder why we're exhausted at 35. Third, 6 small red potatoes. Boiled. Skin on. In the 1990s, carbohydrates became the villain. Low carb is the future, they said. I tried it. 3 weeks later, I felt like I'd been flattened by a truck. No energy. Foggy mind. Irritable. Back to my potatoes I went. A potato is energy from the earth. It kept families alive through the Depression. It fed soldiers in wartime. It carried my family through lean years. Now people fear them. Counting macros. Tracking every gram in an app. Weighing food like they're running a laboratory experiment. I just boil 6 potatoes and eat them. My grandmother did the same. She lived to 96. Fourth, raw milk. A tall glass with every meal. This one unsettles people the most. Raw milk is dangerous, they say. Bacteria. Well, your body is full of bacteria. Your gut is meant to be alive. That's how digestion works. I've been drinking raw milk since I was 6. That's 94 years of risk. I'm still waiting for trouble to arrive. Real milk is thick. Cream rises to the top. It tastes like something real. Much of what's sold in stores today, heated, processed, blended until it barely resembles what came from the cow. I call it expensive whitewater. Here's my routine. Breakfast, 3 eggs, 2 potatoes, a glass of milk. Lunch, half a pound of ground beef, 2 potatoes, a glass of milk. Dinner, 3 eggs, half a pound of ground beef, 2 potatoes, a glass of milk. No snacks. No dessert. No late night nibbling. No variety. Yes, it's repetitive. You know what else is repetitive? Being 100 and walking without assistance. Thinking clearly. Living in your own home. You know what's complicated? Managing a dozen medications before breakfast at 60. Here's what I believe: your body doesn't require endless novelty. It requires nutrients, protein, fat, carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals. We've been sold the idea that health demands exotic powders from rainforests, detoxes for this, supplements for that. Confusion is profitable. My great-grandmother ate nearly the same meals most days. Farmers' wives cooked what was available and repeated it week after week. They were strong. They worked. They endured. Now people consume 70 different processed products in a week and get winded climbing stairs. The issue isn't boredom. It's that we replaced real food with manufactured food. In the 1950s, researchers decided fat was the enemy. Butter became evil. Eggs suspicious. Beef dangerous. And what replaced them? Sugar. Processed grains. Industrial oils. Shelf-stable snacks with ingredient lists longer than novels. Obesity rose. Diabetes surged. Heart disease remained. Instead of admitting mistakes, we created new trends. New labels. New diets. Keto. Paleo. Vegan. Carnivore. Everyone with a book. Everyone with a program. I'm 100. I've watched it all. And here's what I've noticed: the longest living people don't chase every new idea. They find something simple that works, and they stick to it. That's only part of my story. If you want to hear what truly carries someone to 100 and why food is only half the equation, you'll want to stay for the next part. Let me tell you something you might not expect. The food? That's only half of it. You could eat my exact 4 foods, the eggs, the beef, the potatoes, the milk, every single day. And if your spirit is knotted up inside, if your heart is carrying anger like a stone, you'll still fall apart. I've lived long enough to see it. There was a man named Walter who lived down the street in the 1980s. Before wellness was fashionable, Walter was already there. Jogging at sunrise. Reading every new health book. Eating clean. Taking supplements lined up neatly on his kitchen counter. Dead at 68. Cancer. And I'm going to tell you something you won't find in any medical journal. It wasn't only the cancer that took him. It was the bitterness. He spent 40 years angry at his brother over an inheritance. 40 years replaying one argument in his mind. 40 years carrying resentment like a sack of bricks on his back. You carry something that heavy long enough, it bends your spine. Then it breaks it. The body keeps score. Stress isn't just a feeling. It's chemical. Hormonal. Physical. It seeps into your blood. It tightens your chest. It steals your sleep. You want to know what truly keeps you alive? Having a reason to wake up. I still wake up at 5:30 every morning. No alarm clock. Haven't used one in decades. Why? Because there's life waiting for me. Tomatoes in my garden that don't care how old I am. A neighbor who can't fix a fence without supervision. A great-granddaughter who calls every Tuesday and tells me about school as if I'm the wisest woman on earth. I have reasons. You need reasons. Longevity isn't about running from death. It's about walking toward something. And you cannot do that alone. I don't care how many followers you have. I don't care how many hearts appear under your picture. That isn't connection. That's noise. You need people who sit beside you when you're afraid. People who tell you the truth when you're stubborn. People who show up in the flesh, not just on a screen. Love will keep you alive longer than kale ever could. And forgiveness? That might be the strongest medicine we have. I carried anger toward my mother for years. She was a hard woman. Overwhelmed. Distant when she didn't know how to cope. At the time, I only felt unloved. For decades, I replayed my childhood like evidence in a courtroom, building a case against her. Then in my 70s, it struck me, she wasn't on trial anymore. She was gone. And I was the only one still carrying the sentence. So I forgave her. Not because she apologized. Not because the past changed. But because I wanted peace. The past stayed the same. But I changed. I slept deeper. I smiled easier. The tight band around my chest loosened. Forgiveness doesn't rewrite history. It releases you from reliving it. And let me tell you something else that matters more than people admit: laughter. Life will wound you. That is guaranteed. You will lose people you cannot imagine living without. You will fail at things you were certain would succeed. Some mornings you will wake with fear sitting heavy in your stomach. But if you can laugh, even through tears, you can endure almost anything. I buried my husband, Robert, 10 years ago. 68 years of marriage. The day after his funeral, I sat at the kitchen table and cried so hard I thought I might split in two. My granddaughter came in, wide-eyed, not knowing what to say. Through tears I told her, he always said I'd be lost without him. Turns out he was right. She laughed. I laughed. Then we cried again. Then laughed again. Grief and joy can live in the same room. They don't cancel each other out. Now I'm going to say something that might sting. You're wasting time. Not just because of what you eat, but because you're waiting. Waiting to get healthier before you start living. Waiting for more money before you take the trip. Waiting to lose weight before you ask someone out. Waiting for the perfect moment. Let me tell you about someday. It does not exist. I had a friend named Betty. She worked at the telephone company with me in the 60s. She dreamed of retiring to the coast. 10 more years, she'd say. Then I'll open a little bakery. I'll bake pies every morning and watch the ocean. 10 more years. She died at 62. 2 years before retirement. Heart attack. She never saw the ocean. Never opened the bakery. Never baked those pies. She spent 40 years preparing to live. Don't be Betty. You think you have time. You don't know that. I'm 100 years old, and I don't know how much time I have left. A year. A month. Tomorrow. That isn't depressing. It's clarifying. When you understand time is limited, you stop postponing what matters. You call people. You take the trip. You say I love you without rehearsal. You simplify. That's part of why I eat the same 4 foods every day. It isn't just nutrition. It's freedom. When you simplify your food, you clear your mind. I don't stand in grocery aisles debating 12 brands of cereal. I don't scroll recipes for hours. I don't track macros or update apps. I wake up knowing what I'll eat. I cook it. I eat it. I move on. That space in my mind? That's priceless. It leaves room for conversation, for tending the garden, for reading, for thinking, for simply being. You live in a world overflowing with choices. Hundreds of cereals, meal delivery services, DNA-based diet plans, endless optimization. And still, people are more anxious than ever, more confused, more exhausted. You're trying to optimize something that was never meant to be complicated. Your body needs protein, fat, carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals. That's it. Everything else is noise dressed up as necessity. I'm not saying you must eat exactly what I eat. I'm saying find your version of simple. Find the foods that make you feel steady and strong. And stop chasing every new promise. Chasing is exhausting. And exhaustion ages you faster than birthdays ever will. But there's one more thing I need to tell you, something I wish I had understood when I was young. If I could sit down with my 30-year-old self, the version of me rushing through life, trying so hard to prove I was capable, valuable, indispensable, here's what I would say. Stop chasing. Stop chasing more money, more status, more approval, more applause. I worked too many evenings as a school teacher, brought lesson plans home in neat stacks, graded papers at the kitchen table while my children licked frosting from their fingers without me. I once missed my daughter's dance recital because I stayed late preparing a presentation the principal forgot by the next week. At the time, it felt responsible, mature, necessary. Now, at 100, none of it matters. The extra paycheck? Spent. The praise from the boss? Forgotten. The titles? Dust. What remains are the moments I missed. Time is the only currency you never earn more of. That's why I speak about simplicity so often. It was never just about food. It was about life. I didn't settle into my 4 simple foods until I was 63. 63. Before that, I chased every new idea. Low fat, high fiber, special cereals, special shakes, heart-healthy spreads that tasted like regret. I spent years tired, foggy, bloated, catching every cold that passed through town. When I simplified, something changed. My energy steadied. My mind cleared. I stopped obsessing about what to eat and started paying attention to how to live. I wish I had understood that at 23. So whether you're young or just younger than me, listen carefully. Find your version of simple. Eat it consistently. Move your body. Sleep enough. Then turn your attention to what truly matters. Love people while they're here. That's the one that aches the most. I assumed there would always be another holiday, another visit, another call. There wasn't. My sister Margaret and I had a foolish argument in our 40s. I can't even remember what started it. Pride, most likely. We didn't speak for 3 years. 3 years of silence over something that no longer exists. She died at 53. Brain aneurysm. Sudden. No warning. No chance to fix it. No final apology. No last I love you. Regret doesn't disappear with age. You just learn to carry it more quietly. So say it now. Call your sister. Text your brother. Hug your parents. Tell your friends they matter. Not someday. Today. Someday is a comfortable lie we tell ourselves to avoid courage. And let go of the hate. I know it feels justified. I know you feel wronged. But resentment is poison, and you are the one drinking it. You think anger gives you strength. It doesn't. It anchors you to the worst moment of your life. Forgiveness isn't weakness. It's freedom. I've lived through wars. I've watched presidents come and go. I've seen the world transform in ways my younger self couldn't have imagined. Trends rise. Trends fall. Experts contradict each other decade after decade. But some truths never change. Your body needs real food. Your heart needs real connection. Your soul needs real purpose. That's it. Everything else, the life hacks, the optimization, the endless upgrades, is noise dressed up as progress. You don't need a flawless morning routine. You don't need a cabinet full of supplements. You don't need to reinvent yourself every January. You need consistency. You need people. You need meaning. And you need to stop waiting. There is no perfect moment to begin living. There is no future version of you who will magically be ready. There is only now. I eat the same 4 foods every day because it frees me. It gives me steady energy and a clear mind so I can focus on what matters: conversations, sunlight in the garden, my great-granddaughter's stories. Doctors search for complicated explanations. A rare compound. A hidden ratio. But sometimes the answer isn't hidden at all. It's basic. Real food. Real relationships. Real presence. That's the secret. And it's been in front of you all along. I'm 100 years old. I don't know how many more birthdays I'll see. But I wake up grateful. I walk on my own 2 feet. I remember names. I laugh easily. I cook my eggs and butter. I tend my garden. I answer the phone when family calls. That is wealth. Not numbers in a bank account. Not followers on a screen. Energy. Clarity. Love. So here's my challenge to you. Simplify one thing this week. Maybe your breakfast. Maybe your schedule. Maybe a grudge you've been carrying for too long. Call someone you've been meaning to call. Forgive someone, even if only in your own heart. Cook real food. Sit at a table. Eat slowly. Stop postponing joy. You don't have to live to 100 to understand this. But if you're fortunate enough to get close, you'll look back and see that the best parts of your life were not the flashy ones. They were the quiet mornings. The shared meals. The laughter that followed tears. The steady routines that held you together. I'm still here. Still standing. Still frying my eggs. Still choosing peace over bitterness. And if a 100-year-old woman can keep things simple in a world obsessed with complexity, so can you. Now go make yourself some eggs. And for heaven's sake, call your mama. Mabel Rose Thompson. 100 years old. Still here.